I was diagnosed in February 2011. I was actually 31. I had an image of my kids walking in remembrance of me. And my son was older, my daughter was older, and they had shirts that said "in memory of." I thought to myself, I don't want to die, so I'm gonna tackle this. I'm gonna make sure that I win. I had actually had gastric bypass and had lost 117 pounds. And as I was losing weight, I was at work one day and we had been moving some computers and got home that night, and my arm was sore underneath, where I had been lifting the computers, and so my hand had kind of drug across my right breast and I felt a knot. And I told my husband, I was like, feel this. And he goes, you might want to get that checked out. And I was like, I'm not going to worry about it. And so went on with the time, and I noticed it again, and it had gotten bigger. Went to work the next day, and I was speaking with a teacher that I worked with, and she said, Dawn, breast cancer doesn't hurt. And so I automatically called my gynecologist, told him I found a lump. And so I told him, I was like, I don't know what my insurance will do. I don't know if they'll pay for a mammogram. And he said, well, if I suspect something, they will pay for it. The process started with going and having a mammogram and a biopsy. I got a phone call at work saying, unfortunately, it is cancer. And had to have some people at work call and have my husband come pick me up. He was asking me all these questions, like what kind of cancer is it? Is it curable? What's going to happen? And when I first got the phone call, I just heard cancer, and if you have any questions, give us a call. My husband started calling around and finally got the answer that I had been diagnosed with invasive ductal carcinoma. I actually got my phone call on my son's 5th birthday party, and so my husband was like, let's cancel, let's do this another day. And I told him no, that life goes on, I'm not canceling. And I had 2 days that I kicked, screamed, cried, why me? But after that, I just said, I'm going to have breast augmentation, and I just had to have a good outlook on it, and I was positive. I've been positive throughout the whole thing. My gynecologist wanted to be the referring physician, and he referred me to a surgical oncologist, who then referred me to a oncologist and a plastic surgeon. And we did some genetic testing, found out I'm BRCA2 positive. I elected to have a bilateral mastectomy, and then also had a complete hysterectomy to avoid any other further cancer that could come up during this process. I did have 4 treatments of chemotherapy. I did have reconstruction as soon as I had my bilateral mastectomy, and I have continued to try to complete that reconstruction to this very day. It's been a process, but it's been worth it, every bit of it. Breast cancer awareness means you are supporting other women that are going through breast cancer, but that you are also there for companionship, stories, caring, helping them out, giving advice, because everybody is different, and somebody may be going through something that you didn't go through, or that they may have went through that you might be able to give some advice on. And also be there for people that are in your age bracket, because at the time that I was diagnosed, I didn't have anybody to talk to. I didn't have anybody to go and express how I was feeling and how I felt as a woman, having something taken away from me that made me feel like a woman. So breast cancer awareness to me is just being there for anybody, any age, any color, just any time that somebody may need you. Losing your hair as a woman is a big deal. I thought that that was going to be a big deal for me, so I contacted the American Cancer Society, and they did give me a wig. They had me come in, and there were some cosmetology ladies there. They helped me pick out a wig, they helped me cut it, they showed me how to put it on, kind of gave me some styling ideas to do with it, how to take care of it. I would just suggest anything that you find, regardless if you have a history of breast cancer in your family or not, go get it checked out, because you never know. I didn't think that it was cancer for me, and I had no idea that I had breast cancer that ran in my family until I was diagnosed. The bit of advice that I can give to anybody that is going through breast cancer, it is scary. Just have a positive attitude. I know it's hard. Just keep your head up, talk to people, share your story. There's people that you might not ever know that have been through something like that hadn't told anybody, that you just might be that light in their life. Because there's a reason why God's got you here, and there's a reason why you're going through it. It's tough. It wears you out. It makes you sick. But at the end of it, you can look back and you can say, I did that. I conquered this, and it's not going to take me.